Try something smart to chew on. The Lunchroom on RCI, Monday to Friday, 12:45 to 2 p.m. The Lunchroom. Informative, enlightening, provocative, engaging. The Lunchroom on RCI. Food for thought. The station that gives you, more lunch.
Room on Radio Caribbean International. It is Tuesday, the 24th of September, 2024. This is program number 1255 of the Lunchroom, and I'm your host, Calix George Jr. Now, in addition to 101.1 FM radio, you can also get us at our website. It's rcistlucia.com, and we are also streaming live on our Facebook platform. You just have to search for the official page of Radio Caribbean International on Facebook. And please be sure to like and share that link as well with your friends and family. Of course, the number to call in to tell us what's on your plate today, it is 452-3046. Again, 452-3046. That's our direct line number. And you can also call in to our WhatsApp number. And that is 724-0008. Again, 724-0008. Now, some birthday greetings for today. First going out to Miss Tekla Fontenard. Happy birthday to you. And we do hope that you're having a fantastic birthday celebration. And also to Miss Anthea Elite. Happy birthday to you as well. Wishing you an absolutely fantastic birthday celebration. Now, a bit of history for today. Well, if we go way back to the year 1180, with the death of Manuel I Komnenos, the last Byzantine emperor of the Komnenian restoration, the Byzantine Empire began its terminal decline. 1493 on this day saw Christopher Columbus embarking on his second expedition to the New World, setting sail with a fleet of 17 ships. In 1789, on this day, the U.S. Federal Judiciary Act passed, and that created a 6-member Supreme Court. Back in the year 1950, on this day, Operation Magic Carpet concluded after having transported 45,000 Yemenite Jews to Israel. And we now move on to our dish of the day. The Daily Dish is brought to you with the kind compliments of our good friends at Tiles Plus.
One tiles for your home, I see. Bathroom, kitchen, pantry. Need tiles for your balcony. Come down to Tiles Plus, satisfaction guarantee. Tiles Plus, Tiles Plus, Tiles Plus. Big tiles with unbeatable cost. Customer service, A+. There's all kind of tiles. Come down to Tiles Plus. We also got gasway and vanity. Books, doors, you'll see. Come down, don't mind nobody. We got the best tiles on island. Trust me. We are located Land Street in Castries, Bosses Grosile, and Flax Street in Beaufort. Telephone number 453-7939.
Serving now, the Daily Dish.
Al, welcome back to our program here at the Lunchroom for this Tuesday, the 24th of September. And it is certainly a red letter day here in St. Lucia as we are awaiting the arrival of Julian Alfred. And Miss Julian Alfred, of course, is by now, I would imagine, a name which every single St. Lucian knows very, very well. And she is en route, of course, coming home after a good number of months in Europe. First in France, of course, spending quite a... Well, in fact, she did a few events even before the Paris Olympics, which we participated in the lead up to the Olympics. And then, of course, that crescendo of the Olympic Games, the 24th Olympiad in Paris, saw St. Lucia, thanks to Julian, winning its first ever medal in the Olympic Games. And of course, it was not just a medal, but in fact a gold medal. And it was not just in any competition, it was in one of the most competitive competitions known within the Olympics, that of the 100 meters race for women. And she, of course, defeated many individuals, some of whom were certainly a lot more well known than her around the world. And she put herself on the world stage, raising that St. Lucian flag for the first time at the Olympics. And certainly we are looking forward to welcoming her home and to celebrate with her, of course, that remarkable achievement. And lots of people, of course, have taken to social media. We've seen lots of wonderful tributes coming from a number of different artists. And come Friday, of course, a number of those entertainers and cultural producers and musicians and dancers will all be taking stage to celebrate a national celebration for in honor of Julian, and of course her double medaling at the Summer Olympics. So of course she's expected on island somewhere around 3:30 today, and there is of course a welcome ceremony planned for her at the Iwanora International Airport, and from there heading up, of course, and taking in the various communities. Of course, you can follow it live on the government NTN service, which of course, and of course on various platforms as well, through the Government of St. Lucia websites and YouTube channel, to take it all in as it happens, and of course to find out when she will be in your neighborhood, when she'll be passing by, and an opportunity, of course, to take it all in. Of course, she will be passing through her home community, her neighborhood of Cicero, and later on in the week, in fact, there'll be an unveiling of a mural at her primary school, the Cicero Primary School. Lots of other activities, of course, planned for the education system. The schools will be coming out for 2 different rallies, East Coast and West Coast. Those rallies happening at Larry Seuss as well as the Soufriere Mini Stadium. So there's lots to take in for the week, and we do hope that it will all go pretty smoothly. Be prepared, of course, for those of you in along the route to expect some delays. There's no doubt that it's going to be that type of day. It is quite likely that, in particular, by the time she gets into Castries, that certainly, I mean, it's going to be right about the peak hour in any case. So if you can get out early, I suppose you probably may want to consider that if you in fact have commitments that you can't get away from. But of course, we do hope that as many people as possible can take up the opportunity, especially, of course, as she gets into the capital. No doubt that should be very spectacular, and so certainly let's hope that we can see a wonderful celebration of Julian Alfred, St. Lucia's first ever medalist, Olympic medalist, a double medalist thus far, and again, and she continues, and no doubt about it, hopefully will be blessed with many more medals to come, as she has many years ahead of her, God willing. So that's our dish of the day. When we come back, we will look at a few other matters in the news and also take in some calls.
This has been The Daily Dish.
tiles for your home, I see. Bathroom, kitchen, pantry. Need tiles for your balcony. Come down to Tiles Plus, satisfaction guarantee. Tiles Plus, Tiles Plus, Tiles Plus. Because if unbeatable cost. Customer service, A plus, this all kind of tiles. Come down to Tiles Plus. We also got gasway and vanity. Books, doors, you'll see. Come down to mind nobody. We got the best tiles on island. Trust me. We are located Land Street in Castries, Bosses Grozile, and Slack Street in Beaufort. Telephone number 453-7939.
And welcome back to our program today. We do hope that, of course, you are suitably prepared for the arrival of Julian Alfred. We've had a while to prepare, no doubt about it, and that moment is coming, that moment of reality. Most of us, of course, could not have been in Paris, in the stadiums, to actually witness the race, but certainly those races have certainly been etched in our memories, and many participated in the various watch parties that have been held. And so certainly now it is heading into a very, very exciting week, a very exciting time for St. Lucia, certainly to be able to make this a momentous occasion. Of course, it is going to be a holiday come Friday, and that, of course, has been one of the things very early on. It appears that people expect, they want to be able to have that holiday. And of course, in addition to the holiday itself, there is that opportunity to actually go out and enjoy that free show, free performance concert that is going to be held at the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground. There, in fact, was a comment elicited from the Minister for Youth and Sport, the Honorable Kenson Kazimi, about whether, in fact, Julian Alfred Day is going to be an annual affair. And he has indicated that it is unlikely. That's actually covered in an article by the St. Lucia Times. To just very quickly share that with you. Following Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre's announcement that September the 27th, 2024 would be a public holiday in honor of Julian Alfred, questions quickly arose about whether the event would become an annual observance. However, the Minister for Youth Development and Sport, Kenson Kazmi, indicated that an annual holiday is unlikely. During Monday's pre-cabinet press briefing, Kazmi emphasized the importance of maintaining commercial productivity, particularly in light of the island's recent economic recovery. We consider the economic benefits and drawbacks of having the holiday every year. Kazmi stated, in terms of productivity, we are doing well as a country, and adding another annual holiday would not be beneficial. However, it's important for the world and future generations to celebrate the day we brought an Olympic medal to the shores of St. Lucia, he added. Kazmi then highlighted an alternative to commemorate Julian's achievements in the coming years. He suggested that the Julian Alfred Invitational, an annual sporting event, could be a viable option. According to the minister, the event would attract international athletes to compete in various disciplines, aiming to become a premier competition on the global athletics calendar. While it will not be an official holiday, the event's realization will depend on the refurbishment of the George Odlum Stadium. The Julian Alfred Invitational is something we have considered. Once our state-of-the-art stadium is back in the hands of the Athletics Association, this invitational will become a global event, marking her significant achievement, Kazmi told reporters. The minister indicated that the initiative demonstrates a commitment to celebrating local talent while encouraging global athletic participation. And that story covered by the St. Lucia Times. And of course, as we mentioned, that holiday is happening on a Friday for good reason, so that individuals, of course, will have a longer break, especially those who work that Monday to Friday run of things. And of course, certainly it'll be very much welcome for a lot of people at this time. But of course, the point made is a important one, that you've got to balance off the extent of holidays and how many holidays one should have. Some countries have introduced new, well, you could say new holidays into the mix, I suppose you. Dominica, in fact, in addition to its Independence Day, does have a National Day of Service, which is in fact meant to be an opportunity for individuals to come together and participate in giving back to their country. So a holiday with a purpose, not just simply yet another holiday. Of course, as of now, St. Lucia, I believe, has about 13 holidays. You've got 2 for New Year's, 1 for Independence. Then for the Easter season, we have another 2, Good Friday and Easter Monday. Then comes Labor Day, which is celebrated on the 1st of May here in St. Lucia. We also have Pentecost Monday, which is after Easter, 50 days after Easter, which is quite often called Whit Monday here. Then following that, another holiday of religious significance, Corpus Christi. And those holidays shift around depending on the time of year. It might be in May, it might be in June. We then have a fixed date of Emancipation, which is on the 1st of August. Although I think at some point in time, there was some flexibility in the celebrating of Emancipation. It was the first Monday in August, but I think we now actually are in fact celebrating on the date of the anniversary of Emancipation. Following that is Thanksgiving, quite often known as Harvest by some as well. And that is, one could say, perhaps an Anglican, Methodist, Protestant holiday, which is celebrated as well here in St. Lucia. Following that, we also have National Day, which is on the St. Lucy's Day, the 13th of December. And then heading in, of course, to Christmas, where there are, in fact, 2 holidays as well. Christmas Day as well as the following day, Feast of St. Stephen, Boxing Day, or Christmas holiday, as it is known by some. So a total of 13 bank holidays already existing in St. Lucia. Some may argue that we may want more, but I think in terms of countries with holidays, I think Japan actually might be the one that has the highest number of holidays, or at least is one of those that's pretty high up there. But I think they have about 16 or so holidays over in Japan. Others, of course, have some more than that, I should say. I think the highest in the world, depending on how you look at it, of course, and that's the other issue. Some of them are state-based, but I think India, in fact, might very well have the highest number of holidays in the world, over 35 holidays in India. Now, of course, in addition to that, there are some happenings around the Caribbean that we want to take note of. In particular, there are some ongoing issues in the neighboring island of Martinique. And that is being driven by these protest actions, issues over equity and poverty in particular, and it has in fact gotten to the point of being violent. Now, this is not the first time, of course, that we've seen protests in Martinique not too long ago. In fact, we think we saw protests in both Martinique and Guadeloupe over the issues of gas prices. That, of course, has been a major issue. And of course, in as much as Martinique and Guadeloupe are part of France, they are considered overseas departments of France. They do have some degree of autonomy, one could say, in that they are regional councils and there's a regional government, but they are not independent. And a lot of their economic activity is tied to, the ability to sustain the economy is tied to that of La Hexagonie, the metropolitan France, of course. They have, of course, a very strong dependence on French imports and on bringing in products from France, and of course, the majority of players, businesses are coming out of France. The major supermarkets and supply chains, logistics are largely French-based. And of course, sometimes that has actually led to increases in prices to some degree, comparatively, because effectively, most of these products have to come across the Atlantic, and they are going to be markups invariably. And what it also does, of course, is that I think the price of goods is much higher in these islands as compared to mainland France. But in addition to that, I mean, it's also higher than even what is comparable to neighboring islands as well. And so, of course, over the years, that differential between prices has actually been to the benefit of us right here in St. Lucia, where St. Lucia, in fact, has been sometimes a pretty attractive destination for French nationals, for Martinicans in particular, coming to St. Lucia to make purchases of different goods. But as it is right now, the issue of the cost of living has led to a rise in violent protests. And we do have a clip, I think, coming out of France 24, which takes in some of the devastation which is actually happening over in Martinique.
This fast food restaurant is the workplace of more than 100 young residents of Fort-de-France on the island of Martinique. Those who burned it down put those low-income workers, most of them students, out of a job.
It will take months to rebuild the restaurant. This has put our young workers in a difficult position.
This arson, like the looting and vandalism in Fort-de-France and neighboring La Montagne, are part of a protest against the high cost of living on the French Caribbean island. While people are divided over the methods used by the rioters, in recent days several people have been wounded in shootings, including police officers and a protester. Several stores have been looted and some barricades set up by demonstrators. Most agree, though, authorities must act to bring down prices, starting with food.
This is a tougher phase of the protest. The priority is to be able to afford food.
In Martinique, basic food products are on average 40% more expensive than in mainland France.
They ask me, Dad, can you pay for this? It's difficult to answer yes, because I can't make ends meet.
Protesters demand distributors cut their margins and that the state cut a specific tax on food imports, which isn't applied in mainland France. Talks between local groups, elected leaders, and distributors have so far failed. To stop the violence, additional police forces French Caribbean island. While people are divided over the methods used by the rioters, in recent days several people have been wounded in shootings, including police officers and a protester. Several stores have been looted and some barricades set up by demonstrators. Most agree, though, authorities must act to bring down prices, starting with food.
This is a tougher phase of the protest. The priority is to be able to afford food.
In Martinique, basic food products are on average 40% more expensive than in mainland France.
They ask me, Dad, can you pay for this? It's difficult to answer yes because I can't make ends meet.
Protesters demand distributors cut their margins and that the state cut a specific tax on food imports, which isn't applied in mainland France. Talks between local groups, elected leaders, and distributors have so far failed. To stop the violence, additional police forces have been sent to the island, and a partial night curfew is now enforced in several neighborhoods of Fort-de-France, with authorities saying the goal is solely to protect people and businesses.
And of course, yes, that clip seemed to have had a bit of a repeat.
This news is
so apologies for that. We'll speak about that matter, of course, on the other side of our weather report, because we're actually due to take in our weather at this time. So we head across. Of course, that's brought to you through the Senusha Met Services.
Pieces and ground. Everything you need to sort the house out. For the best price and the latest style. Take a little drive down to Island Style Car. We got the time to make you go. We got the time to make you say, quality price, service choice. It's all an Island Style.
Visit us at our showrooms in Belarus and Rodney Bay on the John Crompton Highway, Cass Street, and behind Ruby's Gas Station on the Library Viewfort Highway. So call us on 450-452 or 453-TILE. Island Style Tile and Bath. When you think tile, think Island Style.
This is Radio Caribbean International. It's now time for the weather news.
And that's all, of course, on the 1.1. It's now time for your weather news as of 12 noon today. And that's why the forecast for St. Lucia Valley for the next 24 hours. Winds will be blowing from between the east, northeast, and east near 12 miles per hour or 19 kilometers per hour, becoming lighter at times. The weather partly cloudy to cloudy at times with scattered showers, which may be heavy in some areas, and isolated thunderstorms. Residents and motorists in areas prone to flooding and landslides are advised to be vigilant and exercise caution. The forecast for Los Angeles is partly cloudy to cloudy skies with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms over the Windward Islands and areas further south. Over the Leeward Islands, fair to occasionally cloudy with a few showers. And the tropical weather outlook, light easterly winds will persist across the Eastern Caribbean region during the next few days. The intertropical convergence zone, together with an upper level trough, will cause some cloudy periods with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms over the southern half of the region during the forecast period. A tropical wave located over the western tropical Atlantic is moving westward near 12 miles per hour or 19 kilometers per hour. This wave is expected to affect our region tomorrow. Another tropical wave located over the far eastern tropical Atlantic is moving westward near 12 miles per hour or 19 kilometers per hour and has a high chance of tropical cyclone formation during the next 7 days. And this one's your weather report as of 12 noon today, presented by Island Style Tile and Bath.
This has been RCI's Weather News. For more information, call the Weather Hotline at 454-3452. RCI 101 number 1.
Island Style. We got the time to make you go. We got the time to make you say, we'll have to make the right choice. Island Style. We got the time that will make you happy. Island Style. Oh yeah, we make your dream come alive. In Island Style. We have tiles and thin sets, pieces and ground. Everything you need to sort the house out. For the best price and the latest style. Take a little drive down to Island Style Car. We got the time to make you go. We got the time to make you say, quality price, service choice. It's all an Island Style.
Visit us at our showrooms in Bellarosa, Rodney Bay, on the John Crompton Highway, Astri, and behind Ruby's Gas Station on the Library Viewfort Highway. Or call us on 450-452 or 453-TILE. Island Style Tile and Bath. When you think tile, think Island Style.
And welcome back to our program here at the Lunchroom on Radio Caribbean International. About 23 minutes to go before the hour of 2 o'clock. And of course, we are also on a Juju watch. She's expected to be on island somewhere around 3:30 this afternoon, we are told, to be landing at the Hiwanora International Airport. And of course, lots of discussions have been had about how best to honor her, no doubt. And we'll hear a lot about that perhaps as the week continues on. But let's head to the phone lines at this time to take in a few calls. Good afternoon and welcome to the Lunchroom. What's on your plate today? Hello, caller. Caller, are you there?
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Nepal has the most public holidays.
Nepal, eh? Okay.
Yes. 39.
39, wow, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's quite a lot.
Japan is 16.
Japan is about 16. I think I remember that one for sure.
Yes, and they have, I think, some have 25, 21, Sri Lanka, those places.
Right.
Yeah, but I think St. Lucia would have loved to have, like Nepal.
Well, I mean, it's always an interesting conversation. I think Trinidad has more than us, certainly, because
Trinidad has a lot more.
They've
but
also...
Right now, they've given Trinidad some serious licks.
Are you talking about cricket?
The Kings.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, because the Kings made 218, and right now Trinidad is 130-something for 8.
Oh, wow. Okay, it looks like that's going to be wrapped up very soon.
Yes, yeah. And the Trinidad is a bit disappointed because, it's a public holiday in Trinidad today.
Okay.
Public Day.
Yes, the 24th of September. That is correct.
They came out in great numbers, and the King make a mess. In fact, Johnson made 89.
Wow, that is an awesome hit indeed.
Exceptional today. He made 89.
I'm very glad for him. I guess it's on Juju Day, so he's doing.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for when. I see they're supposed to have a bike salute, a bike on the Dannery side, the scenic side of Dannery. Mr. Terrell Compton saying last night that they would have about 100 bikers.
Wow,
along
impressive.
that side, but they're supposed to be very orderly, single file.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as the convoy reaches, they would be giving her this kind of bike salute, with all the noise and all the pump,
Right.
And then after that, they would be going down in single files again.
Mm-hmm.
Then they wouldn't be caught in the motorcade because they have to go along John Compton Highway, I think, that side.
Okay.
Give another one. That's the airport side there.
Okay.
Yeah, so
well, I hope they do that maneuver very carefully. I'm not sure how they're going to get ahead to do that.
I'm just hoping that the bikers, just take it easy, because from doing that at the Dannery side,
right,
they have to try to get to Castries before the actual motorcade reaches there for them to go along the side of the road to give another. I'm just hoping that they take it easy.
Well, that's a very interesting logistical move.
He had said to them that they have to follow rules. It's like everybody moving single, you don't want no thing, you just want to be, disciplined. And so I'm hoping that it really works out as he said it should be. Because some of them can. Well,
I think the last thing that anybody wants to hear about is any accident,
that's what you don't want
on this
accident.
day in conjunction with this. So let's hope it goes well.
Actually follow the routes and the guidelines that are given to them to get to the place before the motorcade. And I even I'm also hoping that the vehicles that are taking part will kind of pay attention, listen to what is told to them, follow what they said to you, and don't try to think. Because at the end of the day, as I heard the minister said, CNN, Netflix, ESPN, and Sportsmark, all those people are in St. Lucia.
Well, there's lots of attention on her, and in fact, I think in November, I think that Netflix program series.
What's that?
There's a Netflix series.
Yes, on November 13th.
Right. So I don't know if they're going to be using any of the shots from today or the week for that, or if it's in fact already set and it's going to be.
CNN, they have a number of people that are down here just to, do. Because I think Trinidad was saying in the match, whilst the match was going on, that when she arrived, they would be kind of showing some scenes of it. So I don't know how they're going to, because I think she should be arriving at about 5 minutes to 2.
Oh, okay. Well, even earlier than that.
He said she should be arriving at 5 minutes to 2. Then they leave V4
at 3:30.
3:30.
Okay.
And then they come down to fix. So I'm just hoping everything works out fine.
Well, I think we all want just that as well. And, of course, I've no doubt there'll be lots of excited individuals out there. And it's all good to show your excitement and your national pride. But we do have to try to do it.
You're low.
Sorry?
I'm hearing very low.
Oh, you're still having an issue with hearing us, so our apologies for that.
Yes, I am. I wish that I see there's so much that have been asked for her, but at the end of the day, there's only that much I suppose the country can give, and I'm hoping what she gets is the best. He also said that some corporate citizens also have whatever it is they have to give to her. I don't know how many corporate citizens, but a number of corporate citizens also have special announcements to be made.
Right.
It was gifts. It was somebody said, "I get a car, Kia."
Well, maybe so. Maybe so. I know, of course.
Given a Kia. Remember, Levin was given a Kia.
Ah, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
Given a Kia. So this one has some hoping. Yes, I'm hoping everything. I just want to end on a little.
I'm surprised you haven't commented for the week on the weekend.
On a sad note.
Okay.
I mean, after champagne bubbles so much, he just did.
What about bubbling champagne?
After champagne bubbles so much, even in New York for Labor Day, champagne was bubbling to the point that he was calling the Prime Minister, the money so thin. I mean, it's like a macaroni and all kinds of things. And, yes, on top of that, they didn't endorse champagne.
Well, I didn't realize that he was actually planning on contesting the elections.
He has been campaigning a while back. He has been campaigning because one time I was somewhere, and I think at one of my brother's home, and then he was really upset because what happened? He has been begging to go for that place. He has been doing everything, but this is
for which constituency?
Castries East.
For Castries East against the Prime Minister. Okay.
Yeah, but apparently the elite in the party, I think, are the ones that really do not want to endorse him. So after he did have done so much, they just push him aside and Chico.
Well, either way, it would have been a very difficult contest. Certainly, it's never easy going up against a sitting Prime Minister. And I'm not saying that, of course, we have seen in some instances in the world sitting prime ministers not being successful, but invariably they are. And so to see what happens in this instance, I don't know. I mean,
but can you imagine if they had sent, even though they had sent him, can you imagine champagne in Parliament?
Well, I don't know.
Champagne mouth, the nonsense, the way champagne don't even speak properly.
Wow, perhaps don't listen enough to champagne to know about how he speaks.
I listen to champagne.
But yeah, I mean, be that as may, I mean, we've always had a very colorful parliament. Regardless, I mean, over the years we've heard of.
At least in IN, they sent 31 candidates. They have 31 people that.
There are 31 prospective candidates?
No, at first they said 50-something. I think my cousin of mine must have said 50-something. Then they went down to 31. So I was waiting to see so many new, and I think it's mostly the old candidates they brought back, and just two young other guys, Chico and Clark.
Mm.
Yes.
Well, have any others been announced? Is it still the same?
What's that?
I said besides those two, have there been any other
Lady
announcements?
Lady Lee from V4 on Lady Lee on Hot FM.
But has she been announced or has it been formalized?
It has not been because it's supposed to be announcing it. I think there's another meeting.
Okay.
And I was also told that Laura Jean-Pierre wanted to go up, but she was not accepted.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how true it is, but they said they're going to send somebody else instead.
Interesting. Well, I guess a lot of these things we'll have to wait to see how it all unfolds. Of course, candidate selection is a interesting process. In the States, you have primaries. People have to go up and they got to compete in an election.
Rush, Clark, and Chico, they have already been endorsed.
Yes. I heard of those two, in fact, being endorsed over the weekend.
I don't know if she has already been endorsed yet. I don't know who else they'll be sending. I don't know for my area, Castries North. I don't know, I'm just hoping. But I'm listening to some of those people. I listen to some of those people speak on Sunday. And come on, if that's what we have to go, that want to go up, and the way you hear it, the way the crap that's coming out of their mouth. Come on.
Well, what issues did it?
In Labor Day in the States, and even Mr. Gill. Gill is as former police officer. He's supposed to be a lawyer, and you calling people by name and actually calling them thieves. You calling his name Ernest Gille a criminal, a thief. His name is not Ernest Gille. His name is Ernest Volle. And these are the kind of things. These people are saying. I listen to Chico. As soon as you come in, you say you're not there to come remove the criminals. But I suppose when he check what you're saying to find the criminals, he said get rid of the criminals, and then he said the Labour Party, which I suppose when he checked himself, he didn't want it to look like he was actually calling the guys inside the criminals, so he just said, and there's too much insults, too much. Even yesterday, I was listening on a radio station. You have two people call, and they actually want to get on with Stanley. One guy, Mr. Bermuda, called, and he has information that IMF and World Bank has put St. Lucia on warning because, and what he said, Shelton was able to rebut that. And I Googled immediately, and all what he said was a lie. Because all you have to do when people say something, you just have to Google what people say, and you get the information. Now, I'm not able to see, but the minute somebody says something, I take a note of what they say, and I Google, and I always get the answer. So when I see
I have not heard any recent or seen any recent statements regarding the IMF and the World Bank regarding St. Lucia. I mean, in the case of the IMF, they normally do what is called an Article 4 consultation every so
but
often.
But there's something that can easily be debunked because I think when I watched the IMF, he said they already put them on warning because what the growth that is expected for these states and shares whatever. And imagine somebody saying, look, what you're saying is not right. Look right here in front of me, I have something different. You start getting on, you start calling the man bias. How you feel you can just call? Then you have E.T. call, and he's saying he has information because he's a top journalist and saying, and that St. Lucia is known, it's the most corrupt country now. Right now, it is so corrupted. And then you have the guy standing telling you, but where is your information? Where's your proof? How can you just say St. Lucia right now has the most corruption?
Well, there's a corruption index. I'm not sure if that's what he's referring to, but again, I don't. From what I recall, that is certainly not the case. I mean, again.
No, but he says right now St. Lucia has the most corruption.
Oh, okay.
He say, yeah, you're not talking about index or anything. You say right now, St. Lucia has the most corruption. You go on thing to get that. That is not true. I mean, so how you can just be calling?
Well, one thing that is true, caller, is that Juju is here. So,
what's that?
I said one thing that is true is that Juju is now here on island, and so, of course, I think a lot of
she has arrived.
She's arrived. Yes.
Arrived.
So you may want to go and take that all in.
Yes, I'll take it in. Okay.
All right then, caller. Have a good one. Take care. And yes, as I mentioned, I think we are seeing some images already coming out of that American Airlines flight arriving, and I believe it's probably that the flight out of Miami, I'm guessing, that she came in, the 2295, and she is, of course, going to be greeted by government officials, including the Honorable Prime Minister. Normally, of course, the world leaders around this time would be headed to the United Nations General Assembly, but of course, this time around, I think the Prime Minister would certainly want to make sure that he is on island to take in the this very, very momentous national moment. And so, of course, that is certainly happening as we speak, with Julian headed soon to come to somewhere close to you, no doubt, as she will be making her way up from Vieux-Fort all the way up to Gros-Islet today. And of course, as I mentioned, a very interesting program of activities already put forward. No doubt her family, her friends, her colleagues, other athletes. There'll be lots and lots and lots of people who will want to certainly interact with her. And of course, we're already seeing the photos coming in of individuals meeting her along the way. And of course, speaking to her really notable humility. And that certainly is very, very commendable. And let's hope that, of course, she can have a wonderful, wonderful stay here in St. Lucia. Now, I think we've got about 5 minutes to go, and we were talking a little bit about Martinique earlier on the program and what is going on over there. Just to point out, of course, that quite often we think that the grass is greener on the other side, and that has certainly been how many St. Lucians view Martinique. And that, of course, has been as a result of a fairly large amount of support and investment which has come from France in terms of buoying up the Martinican economy. But very interestingly enough, over the past couple of years, the Martinican population has actually been declining. Now, remember we said we had a census back in 2010, and our census back in 2010 put us at about 165,595 or thereabouts individuals here in St. Lucia. And in fact, we've only grown by about 6,000 people since that 2010 census. So over a 12-year span, according to the census, you could even say 12, 13 years, we've only really grown by about 6,000. In the case of Martinique, interesting enough, their population has actually been declining. And they were about 394,000 back in 2010. And according to the 2021 census, that number had gone down to about 360,000. So a drop of over about 35,000 or so, 34,000 people fewer in Martinique. And based on the projections and the census estimate, the estimate for 2024, Martinique now stands at about a little under 350,000 inhabitants. So here was a country which has effectively lost almost 400,000. Almost lost about 50,000 of its population. So that's a pretty steep decline of nearly about 12-13% of its population. And of course, there are no doubt some general demographic reasons why that perhaps is happening in terms of individuals aging, and of course, but what we certainly are seeing is that a lot of the population is in fact migrating. It's leaving Martinique. It's heading to mainland France. And of course, you're hearing some of the issues being raised there, that of course the cost of living is so much higher in the case of Martinique. Even if you look at things like fuel, for instance, I mean, as much as we have very high fuel rates, fuel rates are pretty high over there, but the cost of electricity as well, pretty high, almost dollar for dollar. So whereas we're paying a little under $1 per unit of energy per kilowatt hour here in St. Lucia, over in Martinique, they're paying over €1 per kilowatt hour. So certainly they've got some real challenges. And of course, in as much as, of course, we have had a very, very long-standing history with Martinique, we certainly have gone on to different paths for the past 200 or so years. And of course, there's still a very large population of St. Lucians over in Martinique who come back and forth because in as much as, of course, things maybe seem to be very difficult in terms of cost of living, there are still quite a number of subsidies and benefits in terms of healthcare, for instance, that being a major one for a lot of individuals, access to healthcare over in Martinique. So it is a very difficult time over there for them with these protests happening. But perhaps one can say it's we've had a very long history of that type of desire to stand up for their rights. And of course, we're seeing a lot of it happening all across these Antilles as well as other DOMs. Not too long ago, of course, we saw what was going on over in New Caledonia and the impact there of changes in legislation. And part of the issue, of course, are the frictions that exist between the populations that have been resident on those islands and are effectively indigenous for a very, very long time. But in addition to them, of course, the presence of a large population coming out of mainland France, quite often in civil administration, in the military, in maintenance of government services, and you end up with a sort of a dichotomy, a two-part, a sort of a two-faced society in that regard. And one can say, of course, this has always been the history of Martinique, because you've always had the béké, the bourgeoisie population, which makes up about the 1% really of Martinique. But in addition to that, you also have a flow of individuals who come out from mainland France and take up positions sometimes, and that can sometimes, of course, lead to ongoing friction, because effectively it is still, you could say, almost effectively a colony still of France in that regard. So we'll have to continue to watch to see how things happen over there. But of course, right here in St. Lucia, we are noting the arrival of Julian Alfred, St. Lucia's first ever Olympic medalist, and so much more. Double medalist, gold medal, silver medal in the Olympics, and of course continues to win so many others in various competitions, athletics competitions around the world. She's home, and we do hope that Juju will have a wonderful, wonderful homecoming in the minutes, hours, and days ahead. Do enjoy the rest of the day. I'm your host, Calix Shaw Jr., saying goodbye.